and you would not like to disturb the actors during the play. About halfway through the show, there will be a 10-minute intermission, and if at all during that intermission or during the show, you need to use the facilities. There are bathrooms down the hall, to the right, and down that corridor. Last but not least, enjoy the show, or else.
I thought that things had more effective to do with Albany than Cornwall.
It did always seem so to us, yet now in the division of the kingdoms, it is not which of the dukes he values most.
Is not this your son, my lord?
His breeding hath been to my charge, and I so often blush to acknowledge it that I embrace to it.
I cannot conceive you.
His mother could, whereupon she grew round wombed and had a son for her cradle, or she had a husband for her bed. Do you smell a fault?
I cannot wish the fault undone, the issue of it being so proper.
I have, sir, a son by order of law, some year elder than this, yet who is no dear in my account, though this name came something saucily into the world before he was king called for. It was his mother fair. There was good sport in his making, and the whoreson must be acknowledged. Edmund, do you know this gentleman?
No,
My Lord of Kent. Remember him hereafter as my honorable friend.
my services to your lordship. I must love you and soon to know you better. Sir, I shall study deserter.
The king is coming.
Attend the lords of France and Burgundy, Gloucester. Meantime, we shall express our darker purpose. Give me the method. Know that we have divided in three our kingdom, and 'tis our fast intent to shake all cares and business from our age, conferring them on younger strengths, while we, unburdened, crawl towards death. Our son of Cornwall, and you, our no less loving son of Albany, we have this hour a constant will to publish our daughter's several dowers, that future strife may be prevented now. The princes, France and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love, long in our court have made their amorous sojourn, and here are to be answered. Tell me, my daughters, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, which of you, shall we say, doth love us most? That we our largest bounty may extend where nature doth with merit challenge. Goneril, our eldest born, speak first.
Sir, I love you more than words can wield the matter, dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty, beyond what can be valued, rich or rare, no less than life, with grace, health, beauty, honor, as much as child e'er loved, or father found, a love that makes fair poor and speech enabled, beyond all manner of so much, I love you.
What shall Cordelia do? Love and be silent.
Of all these bounds, even from this line to this, we make thee lady. To thine and Albany's issue be this perpetuous. What says our second daughter, our dearest Regan, wife to Cornwall? Speak.
Sir, I am made of the selfsame metal that my sister is, and prize me at her worth. In my true heart, I find she names my very deed of love, only she comes too short. But I profess myself an enemy to all other joys, which the most precious square of sense possesses, and find I am alone felicitate in your dear highness' love.
Then poor Cordelia, and yet not so, since I am sure my love's more richer than my tongue.
To thee and thy hereditary ever remain this ample third of our kingdom, no less in space, validity, nor pleasure than that conferred on God. Now, our joy, although the last, not least, to whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be interest. What can you say to draw a third more opulent than your sisters? Speak.
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot keep my heart in my mouth. I love your majesty according to love my father all.
But goes thy heart with this?
Aye, my good lord.
So young and so untender?
So young, my lord, and true.
Let it be so. Thy truth, then be thy dower. For by the sacred radiance of the sun, here I disclaim all my paternal care, perpetuity and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart, and me hold thee from this forever.
Good my liege.
Peace, Kent. Come not between the dragon and his wrath. I love her most, and thought to set my rest on her kind nursery. Hence, and avoid my sight. Call France! Who stirs? Call Burgundy! Cornwall and Albion, with my 2 daughters' dowers, digest this burden, like pride, which he calls plainness, marry her. I do invest you jointly with my power, preeminence, and all the large effects that troop with majesty. Ourself by monthly course, with reservation of 100 knights, by you to be sustained, shall our abode make with you by due term. Only we shall retain the name and all the addition of the king, the sway, revenue, execution of the rest, beloved sons, be yours, which to confirm this coronet part between you.
Royal Lear, whom I ever loved as my father, honored as my king, as my master followed, as my great patron thought on in my prayer.
The poke is bent and drawn, big from the shaft.
Let it fall, rather, though the fork invade this region of my heart, be Kent unmannerly when Lear is mad. What wilt thou do, old man? Thinkst thou that duty shall have dread to speak, when power to flattery bows, to plainness honors bound, when majesty stoops to folly? Reverse thy doom, thy youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor those empty-hearted whose low voice reverbs no hollowness.
Kent of thy life no more!
My life I held but as a pawn to wage against thy enemies, nor fear to lose it, thy safety being the most.
Out of my sight!
See better, Lear, let me still remain the true blank of thine eye.
Now by Apollo!
Now by Apollo, king, thy swearst by gods in vain.
Oh, vassal miscreant!
Dear sir, forbear!
Do, kill thy physician, and let the fee bestow upon thy foul disease.
Hear me, recreant! On thine allegiance hear me! Since thou sought to make us break our vow, which we durst never yet, and the strained pride to come between our sentence and our power, which nor our nature nor our place can bear, our potency made good, take thy reward. 5 days we do allot thee for provision to shield thee from diseases of the world, and on the 6th to turn thy hated back against our kingdom. If on the next day following thy banished trunk be found in our dominions, the moment is thy death. Away! By Jupiter, it shall not be revoked.
Fare thee well, king. Sit thus thou appear. Freedom lives hence, and banishment is here. The gods to their dear shelter take thee, maid, that justly thinks and hath most rightly said. And your large speeches may your deeds approve, that good effects may spring from words of love. Thus Kent, O princes, bids you all adieu. He'll seek its old course in a country new.
You, France and Burgundy, my lord.
My lord of Burgundy, we first address towards you, who with this king hath rivaled for our daughter. What, in the least, will you require in present dower with her, or cease your quest of love?
Royal Lear, I crave no more but what your highness offered, nor will we tender less.
Right noble Burgundy. When she was dear to us, we did hold her so, but now her price is fallen. Sir, there she stands. If aught within that little seeming substance, or all of it, with our displeasure pieced and nothing more may fitly like your grace, she's there, and she is yours.
I know no answer.
Will you, with those infirmities she owes, unfriended, new adopted to our hate, dowered with our curse, and strangered with our oath, take her, or leave her?
Pardon me, royal sir. Election makes not up on such conditions.
Then leave her, sir. For by the power that made you, I tell you all her wealth. For you, great king, I would not from your love make such a stray to match you where I hate, therefore beseech you to avert your liking a more worthier way than on a wretch who nature is ashamed almost to acknowledge hers.
This is most strange.
That she, even but now, was the argument of your praise, balm of your age, most best, most dearest, should in this trace of time commit a thing so monstrous to dismantle so many folds of favor. Sure, her offense must be of such a natural degree.
I beseech your majesty, if for I want that glib and oily art to speak and purpose not, since what I well intend, I'll do it before I speak, that you make known it is no vicious walk, murder or foulness, no unchaste action or dishonored step, that hath deprived me of your grace and favor. But even for want of that for which I venture, of still soliciting I in such a tongue as I am glad I have not, though not to have it hath lost me in your liking.
Better thou hadst not been born than not to have pleased me better.
My lord of Burgundy, what say you to the lady? To yourself as a dowry.
Most royal majesty, give but that portion which yourself proposed, and here I take Cordelia by the hand, Duchess of Burgundy.
Nothing. I have sworn. I am firm.
I am sorry then, you have so lost a father that you must lose a husband.
Peace be with Burgundy, since that respects the fortune ours love, I shall not lose one.
Fairest Cordelia, thou art most rich being poor, most choice forsaken, most loved despised. These and thy virtues I seize upon. Be it lawful, I take upwards cast away. Thy darlest daughter, the king, thrown to my chance, is queen of us, of ours, and our fair friends.
Thou hast your friends. Let her be thine, for we have no such daughter, nor shalt never see that face of hers again, that will be gone without our grace, our love, our benefit. Come, noble Burgundy.
Bid farewell to your sisters.
The jewels of our father with washed eyes, Cordelia wins you. I know you what you are, and like a sister, and most loath to call your promises their name. Use well, our father. To your professed bosoms I commit them. So, farewell to you both.
Prescribe not us our duties. Let your study be to content your lord, who hath received you at fortune's alms, who have obedience scanted, and well worth the want that you have wanted.
Time to unfold the plaintive kind hides, who covers faults, then shame derides. Well may we prosper. Come, let her be.
Sister, it is not a little I have to say of what most nearly appertains to us both. I think our father will this tonight.
That's most certain, and with you, next month with us.
You see how full of change his age is. The observation we have made of it have not been little. He always loved our sister most, and with what poor judgment he has now cast her off appears too gross.
'Tis the infirmity of his age, that he hath ever but slenderly known himself.
Best and soundest of his time have been but rash.
Such unconstant starts are we like to have from him as this of Kent's banishment.
There is further compliment of leave taking between France and him. Pray, let's sit together. If our father carried authorities with such dispositions as he bears, this last surrender would but offend us.
We shall further think on it.
We must do something, and in the heat.
Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law, my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lad of a brother? Why bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind is generous, my shape is true as honest madam's issue. Why brand they us with base? With baseness? Bastardy? Base? Base, who in the lusty stealth of nature take more composition and fierce quality than doth, in a dull, stale, tired bed, go to the creating a whole tribe of fops, got tween sleep and awake. Well then, by legitimate Edgar, I must have her land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund, as to the legitimate, fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate, this letter speed, and my intention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper, Now, gods, stand up for bastards.
I don't know, what's news?
So please your lordship, none.
Why does he excel so earnestly to put up that letter?
I know no news, my lord.
No, which papers if you were reading?
Nothing, my lord.
No. Then what's then of that terrible dispatch of it into your pockets? The quality of nothing is not your thing to hide itself. Now, let us see. If it be nothing, I shall not need spectacles.
Sir, I beseech you, pardon me. It is a letter from my brother that I have not all overread. And for so much as I have perused, I find it not fit for your overlooking.
Give me the letter, sir.
I hope, for my brother's justification, you wrote this but as an essay or taste of my virtue.
This policy and reverence of age makes the world better the rest of our time. Keeps our fortunes from us till our oldness cannot relish them. I begin to find a ideal and fond bond between the oppression of aged tyranny. This way is not as it has power, but as it is suffered. Come to me that of this I may speak more. If our father would sleep till I wake him, thou shouldst enjoy half his revenue forever and live the beloved of your brother Edgar? Conspiracy! Sleep till I wake him, thou shouldst enjoy half his revenue? Son, Edgar had a hand to write this, a heart and a brain to breathe it? Wherefore came this you? Who brought it?
It was not brought to me, my lord. There's the cunning of it. I found it thrown in at the casement of my closet.
And you know the character to be your brother's?
If the matter were good, my lord, I durst swear it were his, but in respect of that, I would fain think it were not.
It is his.
It is his hand, my lord, but I hope his heart is not in the contents.
Have you never heard false sound to you in this business?
Never, my lord. But I have heard him oft maintain it to be fit, that sons at perfect age, and fathers declining. The father should be his ward to the son, and the son manage his revenue.
Oh, villain! Villain, his very opinion in the letter. Abhorred villain, unnatural, detested, brutish villain. Worse than brutish. Go you, sir, seek him out. I'll apprehend. Abominable villain, where is he?
I do not well know, my lord. If it shall please you to suspend your indignation against my brother, till you can derive from him better testimony of his intent, you shall run a certain course, where, if you violently proceed against him, mistaking his purpose, it would leave a great gap in your own honor and shake in pieces the heart of his obedience. I dare pawn down my life for him, that he wrote this, but to feel my affection to your honor, and to no further pretense of danger.
Think you so?
If your honor judge it meet, I shall place you where you shall hear us confer of this. And by an auricular assurance, have your satisfaction. And that without any further delay than this very evening. Nor is not sure.
To his father, who so tenderly and entirely loved him. Heaven and earth, seek him out, gentlemen. Wind me into him, I pray you. Fashion this business after your own wisdom. These late eclipses and the sun and moon portend no good to us. The wisdom in nature can reason it thus and thus, yet nature often finds itself scorched by subsequent effects. Love cools, friendships fall off, brothers divide, in cities mutiny, in countries discord, in palaces treason, and the bond cracks with son and father. Oh, this villain of mine falls under this very prediction. There's son against father, the king falls from bias of nature, there's father against child. We've seen the best of our times, machinations, hollowness, treachery, and all ruinous discords follow us disquietly to our graves. Pray you, seek him out, it shall lose thee nothing. Do it carefully. Noble Kent banished the death honesty is strange.
This is the excellent father. servant of our own behavior. We make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if we are villains by necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treachers by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on. An admirable evasion of poor master man, till I his good disposition to the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail. In my nativity is Ursa Major. Thus, I am rough and lecherous. Tut, I should have been that I am, had the maidenliest star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. Edgar. And pat he comes like the catastrophe of the old comedy. My cues, villainous melancholy, with a sigh like Tom of Bedlam. Oh, these eclipses do portend these divisions. Fa sol la mi.
How now, Brother Edmund? What serious contemplation are you in?
I am thinking, brother, of a prediction I read this other day. What should follow these eclipses?
Do you busy yourself about that?
I promise you, the effects he tells of succeed unhappily. As of unnaturalness between the child and the father, death, dearth, dissolutions of ancient amenities, maledictions and menacings against king and nobles, needless differences, banishment of friends, dissipation of cohorts, nuptial breaches, and I know not what.
How long have you been a secondary astronomical?
Come, come. When saw you my father last?
Why, the night gone by.
Spake you with him?
Aye, 2 hours together.
Parted you in good terms, found you no displeasure in him by word or countenance?
None at all.
Bethink yourself wherein you may have offended him, and at my entreaty forbear his presence until the little time hath qualified the heat of his displeasure.
Some villain hath done me wrong.
That's my fear. I pray you, have a continent forbearance, in spite of his rage go slower. And as I say, retire with me to my lodging, from whence I will fitly bring you to hear my lord speak. Pray ye go. There's my key. If you do stir abroad, go armed.
Armed, brother.
Brother, I advise you to the best. Go armed.
Shall I hear from you anon?
I do serve you in this business. A credulous father, and a brother noble, whose nature is so far from doing harms that he suspects none, on whose foolish honesty my practice is right easy. I see the business. Let me, if not by birth, have lands by wit. All with me's meet that I can fashion fit.
Did my father strike my gentleman for chiding his fool?
Yes, madam.
By day and night he wrongs me. Every hour he flashes into one gross crime or other, sets us all at odds. I'll not endure it. His nights grow riotous, and himself upbraids us on every trifle. When he returns from hunting, I will not speak with him. Say I am sick. If you can slack perform my services, you shall do well. The fault of it, I'll answer. He's coming back. I hear him. I don't want your negligence, please. You and your fellows. I'll have it come to question. If you dislike it, I'll let him to my sister, whose mind and mine, I know, and that are one, not to be overruled. By the old man, that would still manage those authorities he kept giving away. Now, by my life, old fools are babes again, and must be used in checks as flatteries when they are seen abused. Remember what I tell you. Well, madam, and let us next have colder looks among you. What grows of it, no matter. Advise your fellows so. I would grieve from hence occasions, and I shall, that I may speak, I'll write straight to my sister, to hold my very course. Prepare for dinner. If but as well I other accents borrow, that in my speech diffuse to that full intent for which I raise my likeness. Now, banished Kent, if thou canst serve without a stead condemned, thy master, whom thou lovest, shall find thee full of labors.
Hannah, what of that?
A man, sir.
What dost thou profess? What wouldst thou with us?
I do profess to be no less than I am, to serve him truly that will give me trust, to
to befriend him that is honest, to converse with him that is wise and says little, to fear judgment, to fight when I cannot choose, and to eat no fish.
What art thou?
An honest-hearted fellow, and as poor as the king.
If thou be as poor for a subject as he is for a king, thou art poor enough. What wouldst thou?
Service.
Who wouldst thou serve?
You.
Dost thou know me, fellow?
No, sir, but you have that in your countenance which I would fain call master.
What's that?
Authority.
What services canst thou do?
I can keep honest counsel, ride, run, mar courteous tale, and tell ye. That which ordinary men are fit for, I am qualified in, and the best of me is diligence.
Follow me. Thou shalt serve me. If I let thee nowhere after dinner, I will not part from thee yet. A dinner! Ho! Dinner! Where's my knave? My fool! Oh, you, Cyril. Where's my daughter? So please you. What says the fellow there? Call the clock hold back. But where's my fool? Huh? I think the world's asleep. Oh, how now? Where's that mongrel?
He says, my lord, your daughter is not well.
Why came not the slave back to me when I called him?
Sir, he answered me in the roundest manner he would not.
He would not.
My lord, I know not what the matter is, but to my judgment, your highness is not entertained with that ceremonious affection as you were wont.
Ha, say'st thou so?
I beseech you, pardon me, my lord, if I be mistaken, for my duty cannot be silent when I think your highness wrong.
But where's my fool? Huh? I have not seen him this 2 days.
Since my young lady is going into France, sir, the fool hath much pined away.
No more of that. I have noted it well. Go you tell my daughter I would speak with her. Go you call hither my fool. Oh, you, sir. Come you hither, sir. Who am I, sir? My lady's father. My lady's father? My lord's knave! You whore son, dog, you slave, you cur! I am none of these, my lord. I beseech your pardon. You baggy looks with ye, you rascal! I'll not be struck, my lord.
Nor tripped me, you base football player.
I thank thee, fellow. Thou servest me, and I'll love thee.
Come, sir, arise away. I'll teach you differences. Away, away, if thou canst measure a lover's length and tarry. But away, go to, have you wisdom? So.
Oh, now, my friendly knave, I thank thee. There's earnest of thy service.
Like me, Ireland too. Here's my coxcomb.
Oh, how now, my friendly knave, how dost thou?
Sirrah, thou wert best to take my coxcomb.
Why, fool?
Why, for taking one's part that's out of favor. Nay, and thou canst not smile as one sits on such a cold shirt. There, take my coxcomb. Why, this fellow hath banished 2 of his daughters, and the third a blessing against his will. If thou follow him, thou must needs wear my coxcomb. Now, noble, would I had 2 coxcombs, 2 daughters.
Why, my lord?
If I give them all my living, I keep the coxcombs myself. There's mine. Beg another of thy daughters.
Take heed, Sirrah, the whip.
A straw, I'll teach thee speech.
Do.
Mark it, have more than thou showest. Speak less than thou knowest. Lend less than thou owest. Write more than thou goest. Learn more than thou trowest. Set less than thou throwest. Leave thy drink and thy hoard, and keep in a door, and thou shalt have more than 2 tens to a score.
This is nothing, fool.
That is like the cut of an unpaid lawyer. Give me nothing for it. Can you make use of nothing, uncle?
Why, no, boy. Nothing can be made of nothing.
Prithee, tell him so much the rent of his land comes to, he will not believe a fool.
A bitter fool.
Dost thou know the difference, my boy, between a sweet fool and a bitter fool?
No.
Teach me. That lord that counseled thee to give away thy land, come place him here by me. Do thou for him stay. The sweet and the bitter fool shall presently appear. One of them motley here, the other found thou up there.
Dost thou call me fool, boy?
All thou other titles thou hast given away, that thou was born with.
This is not altogether fool.
Give me an egg, uncle, and I'll give thee 2 crowns.
What 2 crowns shall they be?
Why, after I cut the egg in the middle, and eat of the meat, the 2 crowns of the egg. When thou clovest thy crown in the middle, and gavest away both parts, thou borest thy ass on thy back over the dirt. Thou hast little bit of thy bald crown, and thou gavest thy golden one away. If I speak like myself in this, let him be wit that perspides it so. Fools had nerves within a year, for wise men are buffish. They know not how their wits to wear, their manners are so apish.
When were you wont to be so full of song, Sirrah?
I have used it, uncle, ever since thou madest thy daughters thy mothers, and when thou gavest them the rod, and put down thine own breeches. Then they for sudden joy did weep, and I for sorrow sung, that such a king should play belief and go the fools among. Pretty uncle, keep a schoolmaster that can teach thy fool to lie. I would fain learn to lie.
Oh, and you lie, Sirrah, we'll have you whipped.
I marvel at what kin thou and thy daughters are. They'll have a wit for speaking true, thou'lt have a wit for lying, and sometimes I am wit for holding my peace. I had rather be any kind of thing than a fool, but I would not be thee, uncle. Thou hast paired thy wit on both sides, and with nothing in the middle. Here comes one of the pairings.
How now, daughter? What makes that frontlet on? Methinks you are too much of late in the frown.
Thou wast a pretty fellow, and thou hadst need to care for her frowning. Now thou art an O without a figure. I am better than thou art. I am a fool, thou art not. Yes, forsooth, I will hold my tongue, so your face fits me, though you say nothing.
Not only, sir, is your all-licensed fool, but other of your insolent red we do hourly carp and quarrels, breaking forth in rank and not to be endured riots. Sir, I had thought, by making this well known unto you, to have found a safer trust, but now for fearful of what yourself to have spoken done, that you protect this course and put it on by your allowance, which if it should, the fault will not escape censure, nor the word was asleep, which in the tender of a wholesome wheel might in their working do you that offense, that else for shame, that then necessity will call discreet proceeding.
Are you our daughter?
Come, sir.
Doth any here know me? This is not Lear. Does Lear walk thus, speak thus? Where are his eyes? Who is it that can tell me who I am?
Lear's shadow.
Ah, I would learn that. For by the marks of sovereignty, knowledge, and reason, I should be false persuaded I had daughters.
Which they will make an obedient father.
Your name? Fair gentlewoman?
This admiration, sir, is much of the savor of other your new pranks. I do beseech you to understand my purposes aright. As you are old and reverend, you should be wise. Here do you keep 100 knights and squires, men so disordered, so debauched, and bold as this, our court, infected with their manners, just like a riotous inn. Epicurism and lust make it more like a tavern or a brothel than a graced palace. The shame itself to speak for instant remedy, be then desired by her. That else will take things she begs, a little to discard to your train, and the remainder that shall still depend, to be such men as may deserve your age and know themselves and you.
Darkness and devils! Saddle my horses, call my train together! Degenerate bastard, I'll not trouble thee, yet have I left a daughter!
Strike my people in your disorder, rather make servants of their betters.
Oh, sir, are you come? Is it your will? Speak, sir! Prepare my horses! Ingratitude, thou marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou showest thee in a child than the sea monster!
Please, sir, be patient.
Detested kite, thou liest! My train are men of choice and rarest parts, that all the particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. O most small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia show, that like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place. Oh, Lear, Lear, Lear!
My lord, I am guiltless, as I'm ignorant of what has moved you.
It may be so, my lord. Here, nature, here, dear goddess, here. Suspend thy purpose. Thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Into her womb convey sterility, dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her ferreted body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create her child of spleen, that it may live and be a thwart, disnaturate torment to her. Let them wrinkles in her brow of youth with cadent tears, fret channels in her cheeks, turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel
scope the judge gives it.
What? 50 of my followers at a clap within a fortnight?
What's the matter, sir?
Oh, Toby, life and death. I am ashamed that thou hast power to shape my manhood thus, that these hot tears which break from me perforce should make thee worth them. Blast and falls upon thee. The attempted woundings of a father's curse pierce every sense about thee. Oh, fond eyes, but weep this cause again. I'll pluck ye out and cast ye with the waters that you loose and temper clay. Let this be so. I have another daughter, who I am sure is kind and comfortable. When she shall hear this of thee, with her nails shall flay thy wolfish visage. Thou shalt find that I'll resume the shape which thou dost think I have cast off forever.
Mark, my lord,
I cannot be so partial, Donald. To the great love I bear
are
you.
you content? But Oswald, ho! You, sir, more knave than fool, after your master.
Uncle Lear! Uncle Lear! Sorry! Take the fool with thee!
This man hath had good counsel. 100 knights! 'Tis politic and safe to let him keep at point 100 knights. Yes, let him every dream, each buzz, each fancy, each complaint, this light. He may engard his dotage with our powers, and hold our lives in mercy. Oswald, I say!
Well, you may fear too far.
Safer than trust too far. Let me still take away the harms I fear, not fear still to be taken. I know his heart. What he hath uttered, I heard my sister. If she sustain him and his 100 knights, when I have shown the unfitness. Oh no, Oswald, what, have you read that letter to my sister?
Yes, madam.
Take away some company and await a horse. Inform her full of my particular fear, and thereto add such reasons of your own as may impact it more. Get ye gone and hasten your return. No, my lord, this milky gentleness and course of yours, though I condemn not, yet under pardon, you are much more tasked for want of wisdom than praised for harmful malice.
How far your eyes may pierce, I cannot tell. Striving to better, oft we mar what's well.
Go you before Sir Gloucester with these letters. If your diligence be not speedy, I shall be there before you.
I will not sleep my lord's life as a prisoner.
Thou canst help why one's nose stands in the middle on sweets?
No.
Why, to keep one's eyes that are on either side's nose. For therefore, where a man cannot smell into, he may lose that.
I did her wrong.
Is that how an oyster makes a shell?
No. Nor I neither.
But I do know why a snail has a house.
Why?
Why, to put his head in, not to give it away to his daughters and leave his horns without a case.
I will forget my nature. So kind a father.
Be my horses ready. Thy asses are gone about them. The reason why the 7 stars are no more than 7 is a pretty reason.
Because they are not 8.
Yes, indeed. That would make a good fool.
Take it again for 4th. Monster ingratitude.
If thou wert my fool, I'd have been beaten for being old before thy time.
How's that?
Thou shouldst not have been old before thou hadst been wise.
Let me not be mad. Not mad, sweet heaven, keep me in temper. I would not be mad. Come, boy.
I've been with your father and given him notice that the Duke of Cornwall and Regan, his Duchess, will be with him this night.
How was that?
Nay, I know not. You've heard the news abroad? I mean the whispered ones, are they yet but ear to some arguments?
Not I pray you, what are they?
Have you heard no of the wars drawn betwixt the Dukes of Cornwall and Alban?
Not a word.
You may do better in time. Very well, sir.
The Duke would be here tonight. The better, best. This weaves itself perforce into my business.
My father hath set guard to take my brother. And there is one thing of a queasy question which I must ask.
Briefness and fortune work. Brother, a word. Descend, brother, I say. Oh, sir, fly this place. Intelligence is given where you are hid. You've now the good advantage of the night. Have you said nothing against the Duke of Cornwall? He's coming hither now, in the night, in the haste, and Regan with them. Upon his party, you said nothing against the Duke of Albany? Advise yourself.
I am sure on it, sir, not a word.
Pardon me. In cunning, I must draw my sword. Seem to defend yourself.
wish you well. Fly, brother. Yield! Come before my father. Light, ho, here! Fly, brother. Torches, torches! So farewell. Some blood drawn on me. Wait, you get opinion of my fierce endeavor? I've seen drunkards do more than this in sport. Father! Father! Stop! Stop! No help!
Where's he at? Where's the villain?
Here stood he in the dark, his sharp sword out, conjuring, mumbling of wicked charms, conjuring the moon to auspicious mysteries.
Where is he?
Look, sir, I bleed!
Where is the villain, Edmund?
Fled this way. When by no means he could
Go, seek him out. By no means he could what?
persuade me to the murder of your lordship. But then I told him, the revenging gods against parasites did all that others then. Spoke with how venerable and strong a bond the child was bound to the father. Sir, in fine, seeing how loathly opposite I stood to his unnatural purpose, in fell motion, with his prepared sword, he charges home my unprovided body, lets my arm. But when he saw my best alarmed spirits, bold in the quarrel's right, roused to the encounter, but whether gasted by the noise I made, full suddenly he fled.
Let them fly far. Not in this land shall he remain undercut. All ports are bare, and he shall not escape. They must right with that.
How now, my noble friend? Since they came hither, which I can call but now, I've heard strange news.
If it be true, all vengeance comes too short, which could pursue the offender. How lost, my lord?
Madame, my old heart is cracked. It's cracked.
What? Did my father's godson seek your life? He whom my father named, your Edgar.
Oh, lady, shame would not have it hid.
Was he not companion to the riotous knights that tend upon my father?
Yes, madam. Who's of that counsel?
No marvel then, though he were ill-affected. 'Tis they have put him on the old man's death to have the expense and waste of his revenue. I have this present evening from my sister been well informed of them, and with such cautions, that if they come to sojourn at my house, I'll not be there.
Nor I assure thee, Regan. Edmund, I hear you have done your father a childlike office.
'Twas my duty, sir.
He did bewray his practice, and in doing so, received this hurt, you see, striving to apprehend him.
Is he pursued?
My lord,
If he be taken, he shall never more be feared of doing harm. Make your own purpose how in my strength you please. For you, Edmund, whose virtue and obedience doth this moment so much commend itself, you shall be ours. Natures of such deep trust we shall need. You first receive it.
Sir, I shall serve you, truly, however else.
before him I thank your grace.
You know not why we came to visit you.
Thus out of season, threading dark-eyed night. Occasions, noble Gloucester, of some poise where we must have use of your advice. Our father he hath writ, so hath our sister, of differences, which I at least thought it fit to answer from our home. The several messengers from hence attend dispatch. Our dear old friend, lay comforts to your bosom, and you still your needful counsel to our business, which craves the instant use.
I serve you, madame. Your grace is over as well.
Should not it to be, friend? Art of this house?
Aye,
Oh, where may we sit our horses?
in the mire.
Prithee, if thou lovest me, tell me.
I love thee not.
Why then, I care not for thee. Why dost thou use me thus? I know thee not.
Fellow, I know thee.
What dost thou know me for?
A knave, a rascal, an eater of broken meats, a base, proud, shallow, beggarly, three-suited, 100-pound, filthy, worse than stalking knave. A lily-livered, action-taking knave, one drunken, herding slave, one that would be a bawd in way of good service, and has the very composition of a knave, beggar, coward, penned around the sun, and heir of a mongrel bitch, one whom I will beat into clamorous whining without denies the least syllable of thy admission.
Why, what a monstrous fellow art known of thee, nor knows thee.
Brazen-faced varlet art thou to deny thou knowest me? Is it not 2 days since I tripped up thy heel and beat thee before the king? Draw, you rogue.
Away, I have nothing to do with thee.
Draw, you rascal, you come with letters against the king, and take vanity and the puppet's part against the king, her father. Draw, you rogue, or else I'm carving out of your shanks. Draw, you rascal, come your ways. Strike, you sledge, stand, you hate sledge, strike!
What is wrong? What is the matter here?
Keep peace upon your lives. He dies and strikes again. What is the matter?
I was here to spread my word. No marvel, sir, you disturb your valor. Nature disclaims me. A tailor made thee.
Thou art a strange fellow. A tailor make a man?
Aye, sir, a tailor. A stone cutter or a painter not makes me so ill. Had he been but 2 hours of the trade.
What is your difference? Speak.
This ancient ruffian, sir, whose life I have spared at suit of his gray beard.
You porcelain zen, the unnecessary letter. My lord, if you will give me leave, I will pound this villain into a mortar and dump all of Jake's with him. Spare my great beard, you wagtail.
Peace, sirrah, you beastly knave. Know you no reverence?
Yes, sir, but anger hath privilege.
Why art thou angry?
But such slave as this should wear a sword that knows no honesty. Such smiling robes as these. Smile you my speeches as I were a fool.
Why art thou mad, old fellow?
No contraries hold more antipathy than I in such a knave.
Why dost thou call him knave? What's his offense?
His countenance likes me not.
Nor perchance does mine, nor his, nor hers.
Sir, 'tis my occupation to be blunt. I have seen better faces in my day than I see on any shoulder here before me.
This is some fellow who, having been praised for bluntness, doth affect a saucy roughness, and constrains the guard so much in that matter. He cannot flatter, he an honest minded plain. He must speak truth, and they will take it, and if not, he's plain.
Sir, in good sooth, in sincere verity, under the allowance of your great aspect, which, like a wreath of radiant fire on flickering Phoebus' front,
What meanest by this?
to go out of my dialect which you discommend so much, I am no flatterer, and he that beguiled you with plain accent was a plain knave. For my part, I will not be, though it may win your displeasure to entreat me to it.
What was the offense you gave them?
I never gave him any. It pleased the king, his master, very late to strike at me upon his misconstruction, when he, conjunct and flattering his displeasure, pricked me behind, being down, insulted, railed, and put upon me such a deal of man that worthy him got praises from the king for him attempting who was self-subdued, and in the fleshment of this dread exploit drew on me here again.
None of these rogues and cowards, but Ajax is their fool.
Fetch forth the stocks. You stubborn ancient knave, you reverend braggart, we'll teach you.
Sir, I am too old to learn. Call not your stocks for me, I serve the king. You show too bold malice against the grace and person of my master, stalking his messenger.
Fetch forth the stocks. As I have life and honor, there he shall sit till noon.
Till noon. Till night, my lord. And all night, too.
Madam, if I was your father's dog, you would not use me so.
Sir, being his knave, I
This is the fellow of the self-same color our sister spoke of. Come, bring away the stocks.
Let me beseech your grace not to do so. His fault is much, and the good king, his master, will check him for. Your reverence low correction is that the basis and condemns wretches for pilferings and common trespasses are punished for. The king should take ill, seeing how slightly he is valued in his messenger being thus restrained.
I'll answer that. My sister may receive it much more worse. To have her gentleman abused, assaulted, for following her affairs. Put in his legs. Come, my dear. Away.
I am sorry for the friend, the duke's pleasure, his disposition. The world well knows shall not be stopped nor loved. I will entreat you.
Pray do not. I have watched and traveled hard. Sometime I'll sleep out, others I'll whistle. Give you good morrow.
Duke is on this. We will take it.
saw, though out of heaven's benediction comes to the warm sun. Approach, thou beacon to this underglobe, that by thy comfortable beams I may peruse this letter. Nothing almost sees miracles but misery. I notice from Cordelia, who have most fortunately been informed of my obscure state, and will take time from this enormous state, seeking to give losses their remedies. Take vantage, heavy eyes, so as not to behold this shameful lodging. Fortune, good night. Smile once more. Turn thy wheel.
I heard myself proclaimed, and by the happy hollow of a tree escaped the hunt. No port is free, no place. That guard in most unusual vigilance does not attend my taking. Whiles I may escape, I will preserve myself, and am thought to take the basest and most poorest shape that ever penury, in contempt of man, brought near to beast. My face I'll grime with filth, blanket my loins, elf all my hair in knots, and with presented nakedness outface the winds and persecutions of the night. The country gives me proof and precedent of bedlam beggars, who, with roaring voices, strike in their numbed and mortified bare arms pins, wooden pricks, nails, sprigs of rosemary, and with this horrible object, from low farms, poor pelting villages, sheepcotes, and mills, sometime with lunatic bands, sometime with prayers enforce their charity. Poor Turley God, poor Tom. That's something yet. Edgar, I nothing am.
Good day, my lord.
Ha! Makest thou this shame thy pastime?
No, my lord.
He wears cruel garters, horses tied by their heads, dogs and bears by the neck, monkeys by the loins, and men at the legs. And when a man's over lusty at the legs, then he wears green nether stockings.
What's he that hath so much thy place mistook to set thee here?
It is both he and she, your son and daughter.
No.
Yes.
No, I say.
I say yea.
No, they would not.
Yes, they have.
By Jupiter, I swear no.
By Juno, I swear I.
They durst not do it. Resolve me with all modest haste how thou mightst deserve, or they impose this usage coming from us.
My lord, when I went home, I did commend your highness's letter to them. Ere I was risen from the place that showed my duty needed, came there a reeking post, stewed in his haste, half breathless, being the very fellow of late that displayed so saucily against your highness, and having more man than wit about me, drew, and he raised the house with loud and coward cries. Your son and daughter found this trespass worth the shame for which here it suffers.
Winter's not gone yet, for while you describe that way. Fathers that wear rags do make their children blind. Fathers that wear bags shall see their children kind. Fortune that e'er poor ne'er turns the key before, and thou shalt have as many dollars for thy daughters as thou canst tell it in years.
Oh, how this mother swells up towards my heart. Where is this daughter?
With the earl, sir, here within.
Follow me not. Stay here.
Read you? No more offense, but
None, but how chance the king comes with so small a train?
And hast thou been set in the stocks for that question, thou hadst deserved it.
Why, fool?
We'll send thee to school to an ant, to teach thee there's no labor in the winter. All that follow their noses are led by their eyes but blind men, and there's not a nose among 20 that can smell him that's stinking. Let go thy hold when a great wheel runs down a hill, as to break thy neck with following. But the great one that goes up the hill, let him draw thee after. When a wise man gives thee better counsel, give me mine again. I would have none the knaves follow it since a fool gives it. That serve which serves and seeks for gain, and follows but for form, will pack when it begins to rain, and leave thee in a storm. But I will tarry, the fool will stay, and let the wise man fly. The fool turns knave that runs away, the fool no knave for die.
I'll never do this, fool.
Not in the stocks, fool.
Deny to speak with me. They are sick. They are weary. Fetch me a better answer.
My lord, you know the fiery quality of the Duke, how unremovable
fallen with my more heavier will to take the indisposed and sickly fit for the sound man. Death on my state, wherefore should he sit here? This act persuades me that this remotion of the Duke and her is practice only. Give me my servant forth. Go tell the Duke and his wife I'd speak with them, or at their chamber door I'll beat the drum till they cry sleep to death.
I would have all well betwixt you.
Me, my heart, my rising heart, but down.
Cry to it, Uncle, as did the cockney did with the eels when she put him in the face of a lion. She knocked him on the coxcombs with a stick and cried, "Down, Luntons, down!"
Oh, tomorrow to you both.
Hail to your grace. I'm glad to see your highness.
Regan, I think you are. Oh, are you free? Some other time for that. Beloved Regan, thy sister's not. Oh, Regan, she has clapped sharp-toothed unkindness like a vulture here. I scarce can speak to thee. Thou not believe of how depraved equality. Oh, Regan.
Pray you, sir, take patience. You less know how to value her deserts than she to scant her duty.
Say, how's that?
I cannot think my sister in the least would fail her obligation. If, sir, perchance she have restrained the rights of your followers, 'tis on such ground and to such wholesome end as clears her from all blame.
My curse is on her.
Oh, sir, you are old. Nature in you stands on the very verge of her confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion which discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore I pray you that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her, sir.
Ask her forgiveness. Do but mark how this becomes the house. Dear daughter, I confess that I am old. Age is unnecessary. On my knees I beg that you'll vouchsafe me raiment, bed, and food.
But sir, no more these are unsightly tricks. Return you to my sister.
Never, Regan. She has baited me. As my train looked back upon me, struck me with her tongue most serpent-like upon the very heart. All the storied vengeances of heaven fall on her ungrateful top. Strike her young bones, you taking airs with lameness.
Fie, sir, fie. Oh, the blessed gods. So will you wish on me when the rash mood is on?
Never, Regan, thou shalt never have my curse. Thy tender-hefted nature shall never give thee o'er to harshness. Her eyes are fierce, but thine do comfort, and not burn. Thou better knowest is the offices of nature, bonds of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues of gratitude. Thy half of the kingdom thou hast not forgot wherein I thee endowed.
But sir, to the purpose.
Who put my men in the stocks?
What trumpet's that? I know it, my sister's. This approves her letter that you would soon be here. Is your lady come?
Oh, this is the slave whose easy furrowed pride dwells in the fickle grace of her he follows. Out, varlet, from my sight!
What means that?
Who stopped my servant? Regan, I have good hope thou didst not know in it. Who comes here? Oh, heavens, if you do love old men, if your sweet sway allow obedience, if yourselves are old, make it your cause, send down, and take my part. Oh, Regan, wilt thou take her by the hand?
Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? All's not offense that indiscretion finds and dotage terms so?
Besides, you are too tough. Will ye yet hold? How came my man in the stocks?
I set him there, sir, but his own disorders deserve far less advancement.
You! Did you?
I pray you, father, being weak, seems so. If, till the expiration of your month, you'll return and sojourn with my sister, dismissing half your train, come then to me.
Return to her? And 50 men dismissed? No! Rather I abjure all roofs and choose to wage against the enmity of the air to be a comrade to the wolf, but now necessity's short pinch. Return with her? I pray thee, daughter, do not make me mad. I will not trouble thee, my child, farewell. We'll no more meet, no more see one another. But yet thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter, or rather a disease that's in my flesh, which I must needs call mine. Thou art a boil, a plague sore, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood. But don't that chide thee. Let train come in when it will, I do not call it. I can be patient. I can stay with Regan, I and my 100 knights.
Not altogether so. I look not for you yet, nor am provided for your fit welcome.
Is this well spoken?
I dare vouch it, sir. What, 50 followers? Is it not well? What should you need of more? Yea, or so many, since that both charge and danger speak against so great a number. How, in one house, should many people under 2 commands hold amity? 'Tis hard, almost impossible.
Why might not you, my lord, receive attendance from those that ye call servants or from mine?
Why not, my lord? If then they chance to slap you, we could control them. If you will come to me, for now I spy a danger, I entreat you to bring but 5 and 20. To no more will I give place or notice.
I gave you all!
And in good time you gave it.
Made you my guardians, my depositaries, but kept a reservation to be followed by such a number. What must I come to with 5 and 20 regions that you saw?
And speak it again, my lord. No more with me.
I'll go with thee, thy 50th of double 5 and 20, and thou art twice for love.
Hear me, my lord. What need you, 5 and 20, 10 or 5, to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to tend you?
What need one?
Oh, reason not the need. Our basest beggars are in the poorest thing superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life is cheap as beasts. Thou art a lady, if only to go warm or gorgeous, my nature needs not what thou gorgeous wears, which scarcely keeps thee warm, but for a true need. New heavens, give me patience, patience I need. You see me here, you gods, a poor old man, as full of grief as age, wretched both. If it be you that stir these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not woman's weapons water drop stain my man's cheeks. No! You unnatural hags! I will have such revenge on you both, all the world shall. I will do such things. What they are, I yet know not, but they will be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but this heart shall break into 100,000 flaws, or ere I'll weep. Oh, fool! I shall go mad!
Let us withdraw, it will be a storm.
This house is little. The old man and his people cannot be well bestowed.
'Tis his own blame, hath put himself from rest, and must needs taste his folly.
For his particular, I'll receive them gladly. Not one follower.
So am I purposed. Where's my Lord Lobster?
The king is in a high rage.
Whither is he going?
He calls you what you will, I don't know.
It is best to give him way, he leads himself.
My lord, entreat him by no means to stay.
Alack, the night comes, and the bleak winds do sorely ruffle. For many miles about there is scarce a bush.
Oh, sir. 'Twill command the injuries that they themselves procure must be their schoolmasters. Shut up your doors.
Shut up your doors, my lord, 'tis a wild night, my regal counsel as well. Come out of this storm.
Who's there besides foul weather?
One didn't like the weather, most unquietly,
I know you. Where's the king?
contending with the fretful elements, as the winds blow the earth into the sea. This night when the cub-drawn bear counts the lion and the belly-pinched wolf keep their fur dry, unbonneted he runs, he bids what will take off.
Yes, but who was with him?
None but the fool who labors to outguess his hard-struck injury.
Sir, I do know you, and therefore the word on my note commended dear thank you. In this state there is division, although yet the faces that be covered with mutual cunning betwixt all of you in Cornwall. And there's from France there comes a coward in his guard.
safe. And although being wise in our negligence, we have secret feet in some of our best ports, it would be best if you were to make your speed to Dover.
I will talk further with you.
Pray, do not. But to prove that I am much more than my outlaw, take what this contains. Show it to Cordelia. Fear not what you shall find her. Show her the ring. She will tell you who your fellow is that you do not yet know. Fire on the storm. I'll go seek the king.
Blow winds and crack your cheeks rage! Blow, you cataracts and hurricanes spout, till you have drenched our steeples, drowned the cocks! You soldiers and God executing fire, fought glorious in the gleaming thunderbolts, singed my white head! And thou, all shaking thunder, sweat flat the thick rotundity of the world, crack nature's mold, and German spill at once that make ingrateful men.
What on a dread house better than this rainy night? The noble inn and ask my daughter's blessing.
Rumble thy belly full, spit, fire, spout, rain. Your rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I taxed on you, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called me children. You owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasures. Here I stand, your slave, a poor, weak, infirm, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers, that have with two pernicious daughters joined your high and tender battles gates ahead. So old and white is this. Oh, 'tis foul.
Who's there?
Mary, as a grace and a codpiece, it's a wise man and a fool.
Sir, are you here? None who love knights and not knights such as these.
God, that make this dreadful puzzler our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch, that hast within the undivulged crimes unwhipped of justice. Hide thee, thou bloody hand, thou perjured and thou similar man, the first Jew that are incestuous. Close up, pen guilt dry, your concealing continence, and cry these dreadful summoners grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning.
Perhaps they're headed. Hark, I hear the hubble. Some friend will lend you guys to come. So go to there.
My wits begin to turn. Come on, my boy. Come on, my boy. Art cold? I am cold myself. Where's the straw, fellow? Oh, poor fool and maid. I have one part in my heart that's sorry yet for thee. Come, bring us to this hovel.
This is a brave night's portent. I'll speak a prophecy ere I go. When priests are more in word than matter, when tailors are when nobles are their tailors' tutors, no heretics burned, but wenches suitors. When every case in law is right, nor squire in debt, nor no poor knight. When users tell their gold in the field, and bawds and whores do churches build, then shall the realm of Albion come to great confusion. Then comes the time, for those who live to see it, that the going shall be used with feet. This is a prophecy Merlin shall make, for I live before his time.
Division Dukes. Horseback in leather, I have to see the letter. It is dangerous to be spoken of, I have locked it in my closet. These injuries which the king now bears shall be revenge shown. There's part of a power already footed, we must incline towards the king, my master. I shall seek him now even. Pray, well, make him talk with the dukes, that my charity be not of him received. He asked of me, I nearly got to bed. Though I die for it, no less is hurt me. The king, my master, must be relieved. There's something strange toward. Pray, Edmund, be careful.
This courtesy, forbid thee, shall the Duke instantly know, and of thy letter too. This seems fair deserving. That was charming from which my father loses, no less than I. The younger rises when the old doth fall.
Here's my little one. Good my lord, and for the tyranny of the open night
be gone. Thy comforts can do nothing, neither may hurt.
Alas, sir, you must see your way.
I have no way, and therefore what know I? I did stumble when I saw 'tis for oft seen that our means secure us, and our mere defects prove our quality. My son Edgar, the food of that age is his father's grasp. If I but would receive in my touch again, I'd say I had eyes.
How now? Who's there? 'Tis poor Mad Tom. Fellow, where goest?
Is it the beggar?
Madman and beggar too.
He has some reason, as they could not beg. In last night's storm, my such a fellow saw, he made me think a man of war. Then my son Edgar crept into my mind, so my mind was scarce left with him. Like flies do wanton boys over to the gods, they kill us for their sport.
That is the trade that must put full to sorrow, angering itself and others. Bless thee, master.
Is that the naked man?
Aye, my lord.
Then pray thee, get thee gone, but if thou wilt take some mildly point on the way to Dover, then do it for ancient love, and bring some covering for this here naked fellow who will treat to leave me.
Alack, sir, he is mad.
It's the plague of our times when the madman leads the blind. Get thee, do as I bid thee, or rather do thy pleasure. Above all, be gone.
I'll bring him the best pearl that I have to want with will.
Sure, thank you, fellow.
Poor Tom's cold.
Come hither, fellow.
Bless thy sweet eyes. Indeed.
No spells in which fellow.
Both style and gauge, bridge, way, and footpath, poor Tom has been scared out of his good wits. Bless thee, a good man's son, from the foul sea.
Here is a purse for thee, the son of Dover.
Aye, master.
Then, maybe, there is a hill whose high winding point stares fearfully into confined deep. Bring me much to the brim of it, repay thy misery with something which about me. From that point shall I know it is need.
Give me thy arm, poor Tom shall leave thee.
Welcome, my lord. I marvel my husband not notice on the way. Oswald. Now where's your master?
Matter, within, but never man so changed. I told him of the army that was landed. He smiled at it. I told him you were coming. His answer was the worst of Gloucester's treachery and of the loyal service of his son when I informed him. Then he called me sot and told me I had turned the wrong side out. What moved me to dislike seems pleasant to him, what like offensive.
Then you shall go no further. It is the cowish terror of a spirit that dares not undertake. Will not feel wrong such time to an answer. Our wishes will only make them feel vexed. Back, Edmund, to my brother. Hasten his musters and conduct his powers. Ere long you would like to hear, if you dare venture over in your own behalf, my mistress's command. Wear this, spare speech, decline your head. This kiss, if it durst speak, which strips thy spirits up into the air, conceive and fare thee well. Yours, in the ranks of death, my most dear Gloucester. With the difference of man and man, to thee, a woman's services I do, and fully subdue my mother.
Madam, here comes my lord.
I've been with the whistle.
Oh, Donald, you are not like the dust which the good wind blows in your face.
Milk-livered man, who bears a cheek for blows, a head for wrongs, who hast not in thy brow, I discerning thine honor from thy suffering. Then thou those fools, to those villains who are punished, and they have done their mischief.
See thyself, devil. Proper deformity seems not in the fiend, so horrid as in woman.
O vain fool!
What is? Oh my good lord, the Duke of Cornwall is dead. Slain by his servant, going to put out Gloucester's eye.
I have lost her.
A servant that he bred, opposed against the act, thrilled with remorse, bending his sword on his great master, who there enraged flew on him, and amongst fell dead, but now had that harmful stroke which since that fell to after.
This shows you are above, you justices, that these are nether crimes so speedily condemned. But oh, poor Gloucester, lost he his other eye?
Both, my lord. This letter, madam, proves a speedy answer. 'Tis from your sister.
One might like this well, but being widow, am I Gloucester with her? May all the building in my fancy plug upon my hateful life. Another way, the news is not so far. I'll read and answer.
It was his son, when they
she meant by her fair horse.
Gloucester, I live to thank thee for the love thou showedst the king, and to revenge thine eye. Come hither, friend, tell me what more thou doest.
Alack, 'tis he. Why, he was even now as mad as the vexed sea, singing aloud, crying with rank fumitor and furrow weeds, with hemlock, burdock, nettles, cuckoo flowers, darnel, and all the idle weeds that grow in our sustaining corn. What can man's wisdom in the restoring his bereaved sense? He that helps him takes all my outward worth.
There is needs, madam. Our foster nurse of nature is repairs, the which he lacks. That to provoke in him are many simples offered you, whose power will close the eye.
All blessed secrets, all you unpublished virtues of the earth spring with my tears. Be aided and remediate in the good man's distress. Seek for him, lest his unmurmured rage resolve the earth that wants to be polluted.
News, madam. The British powers are marching hitherward.
'Tis known before, our preparation stands in expectation of them. Oh, dear father, it is thou didst that I go about. Therefore, great France, my mourning and importunate tears have pitied. No blown ambition doth our arms incite, but love, dear love, and our aged father's right. Soon may I hear and see.
But are my brother's powers set forth?
Aye, madam.
Himself in person there?
Madam, with much ado. Your sister is a better soldier?
Lord Edmund spake not with your lord at home?
No, madam.
What might import my sister's letter to him?
I know not, lady. I needs much after him, madam, with my letter.
Our troops set forth tomorrow. Stay with us. The ways are dangerous.
I may not, madam. My lady charged my duty in this business.
Why should she write to Edmund? Might not you transport her purposes by word? He likes something, I know not what. I love thee much. Let me unseal the letter.
Madam, I had rather...
I know your lady does not love her husband. I'm sure of that. And at her late being here, she gave strange Iliads and most speaking looks to noble Edmund. I know you are of her bosom.
I?
I speak in understanding. You are, I know it. Therefore I do advise you, take this note. My lord is dead. Edmund and I have talked, and more convenient is he for my hand than for your lady's. You may gather more. If you do find him, pray you, give him this. And when your mistress hears thus much from you, I pray, desire her call and wisdom to her. So fare you well. If you do chance to hear of that blind traitor, preferment falls on him, that cuts him off.
Would I could meet him, madam? I should show which party I could follow.
Very well.
When shall we reach the top of that same hill?
Why, you do climb up it now. Look how we labor.
Methinks the ground is even.
Horrible steep. Hark, do you hear the sea?
Oh, truly.
Why, then your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish.
So may it be. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speaks in better phrase and matter than thou didst.
In nothing will I change, but in my garments.
Methinks thou art better spoken.
Come on, sir, here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and choughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. The murmuring surge which on the unnumbered idle pebbles chafes cannot be heard so high. I'll look no longer lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong.
Set me where you stand.
Give me your hand. You are now within a foot of the extreme verge. For all beneath the moon would I not leap upright.
Here is a purse for thee, and it's a jewel well worth the poor man's taking. Pray thee, be gone, and let me hear you going.
Now fare you well, good sir.
With all my heart. Oh, you ever gentle gods, this world I do renounce, and do fiction off. But I was bear any longer and not to fall, to quarrel with thy great opposeless wills. Then my slip and loose part of nature should burn itself out. Fellow, fare ye well.
Gone, sir, farewell! And yet I know not how conceit may rob the treasury of life when life itself yields to the theft. Alive or dead? Had he been where he thought? By this had thought been past. Ho, you, sir! Friend, hear you, sir! Speak! Thus might he pass indeed. Yet he revives! What are you, sir?
Away, let me die.
Hadst thou been aught but gossamer, feathers, ere so many fathom down precipitating, thou shiveredst like an egg. But thou dost breathe, hast heavy substance, bleedest not, speakest, art sound. 10 masts at each make not the altitude which thou hast perpendicularly fell. Thy life's a miracle! Speak yet again.
Have I fallen or no?
From the dread summit of this chalky bourne, look up apace. The shrill-gorged lark cannot be seen so high. Do but look up.
I have no eyes.
Give me your hat. Ah. So, how is it? Feel you your legs? You stand.
Too well. Too well.
This is above all strangeness. Upon the crown of the cliff, what was that thing which parted from you?
Poor unfortunate beggar.
As I stood here below, methought his eyes were 2 full moons. He had 1,000 noses, horns, whelked and waved like the enrigid sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, think that the clearest gods which make them honors of men's impossibilities have preserved thee.
This creature of which you speak, I mistook it for a man. 'Twould often say, the fiend, the fiend. He led me to that place.
Who is it that comes here? Oh, the safer sense will never accommodate his master thus.
No, they cannot touch me for coining. I am the king himself.
Oh, thou side-piercing sight!
Nature's above art in that respect. Look, look, a mouse. Peace, peace. This piece of toasted cheese will do it.
Sweet marjoram!
I know that voice.
Goneril with a white beard. They flattered me like a dog and told me I had white hairs in my beard ere the black ones were there. When the rain came to wet me once and the wind to make me chatter, when the thunder would not still at my bidding, there I found him, there I smelt him out. Go to, they are not men of their words. They told me I was everything. 'Tis a lie. I not gave you proof.
Trick of that voice I do well remember. Is it not the king?
Aye, every inch a king. When I do stare, see how the subject quakes. I pardon that man's life. What is that cause? Adultery? Thou shalt not die for adultery. No. The red goes to it, and the little fly is lecturing my sight. Let copulation thrive. For Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters got me in the lawful sheets. Oh, give me an ounce of civet, good apothecary, to sweeten my imagination. There's money for thee.
Oh, let me kiss your hand.
Let me wipe it first. It smells of mortality.
Oh, ruined piece of nature. And so shall this world where I do not. Oh, son of me.
I remember thine eyes well enough. Dost thou squine at me? No, no. Do thy worst, blind Cupid. I'll not love. Oh, read thou this challenge, a mark, but the penning of it.
Were see one.
Read!
What's with the case of eyes?
Oh! Are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor no money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse in a light. Yet you see how this world goes?
I see it feelingly.
What? What, man? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears. See how your justice rails upon yon simple thief. Hark in thine ears. Change places and handy dandy, which is the justice, which is the thief. Have you seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar?
I should.
And a creature run from the kirk? Up there thou mightst behold the great image of authority. A dog's obeyed in office. Through tattered clothes, great vices do appear. Robes and fur gowns hide all, plates in with gold, and the strong lance of justice hurtless breaks. Armed in rags of pygmy straw does pierce it. None does offend, none, I say. A little. Take that of me, my friend, that has the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician, seem to see things thou dost not. Now, pull off my boots. Harder, harder.
Oh, matter and impertinency makes reason in madness.
If thou wilt weep my fortunes, take mine eyes. I know thee well enough. Thy name is Gloucester. You must be patient. We came crying hither. Thou knowest, when we first smell the air, we wail and cry. I will preach to thee. Mark.
Alas the day.
When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. This were a good luck. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horses with felt. I'll put it into proof. And when I have stolen upon these sons-in-law, then kill, 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 kill.
Oh, here he is. Lay hand upon him. Sir, your most dear daughter.
No rescue. What? A prisoner? Oh, I am even the natural fool of fortune. Use me well. You shall have ransom. Let me have surgeons. I am cut to the brains.
You shall have anything.
No seconds. What? All myself? Why, this would make a man of soul to use his eyes for garden water pots, aye, and laying autumn's dust.
Good sir.
I will die bravely, like a bridegroom white. I will be jovial, come. I am a king, my masters. You know that.
You are a royal one, and we obey.
Nay, there's life in it. Nay, and you get it. You shall get it with running.
A sight both pitiful and meanest wretch. Past speaking of the king, thou hast one daughter who redeems nature from the general curse which twain have brought upon us.
Hail, gentle sir.
Sir, speak you.
Do you hear aught, sir, of a battle toward?
Most true and vulgar. Everyone hears that and distinguished sound.
But by your leave, how near's the other army?
Near and on speedy foot, the main descry stands on the hourly thought.
I thank you, sir, that's all.
Though the queen on special causes here, her army is moved on.
I thank you, sir.
You ever gentle gods, take my breath from me, lift not my worst spirit, tempt me to die again before you. Please. Now, friend, what are you?
A most poor man, made tame to fortune's blows, who by the art of known and feeling sorrows am pregnant to good pity. Give me your hand. I'll lead you to some binding.
How do you think?
How could they surprise? Most happy that I was of thine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes. Briefly, they shall remember
up, a serviceable villain, as duteous to thy mistress as madness would desire.
What, is he dead?
Sit you down, father, rest you. Let us see these pockets. These letters that he speaks of may be my friends. He is dead. I am only sorry he had no other debts, man. Let us see. Leave gentle wax and manners. Judge us not. To know our enemies' minds, we'll rip out their hearts. Their papers is more lawful. Let our reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. If you will want not, time and place will be fruitfully offered. There is nothing done if he return the conqueror. Then am I the prisoner, and his bed my jail. From the low warmth whereof deliver me, and supply the place for your labor. Your wife, so I would say, affectionate servant, Goneril. Oh, undistinguished space of woman's will! Applaud upon her virtuous husband's life, and the exchange my brother. Here in the sands thee I'll break up, the post unsanctified of murderous leechers, and in the mature time with this ungracious paper struck the sight of the death-practiced duke. For him 'tis well that of thy death and business I can tell.
Mad. How stiff my vital senses, I stand up and have such ingenious thoughts of my huge sorrows. Better that I would distract. So should my grip be severed from my grief, and woes by wrong imagination which develop themselves.
Give me your hand, Father. I'll bestow you with a friend.
Acknowledged, madam, or paid. All my reports go with honest truth, nor more nor clipped, but so.
Be better suited. These weeds are but those memories of those words I
Certainly not, madam. To be known short was my main intent, but would I make it some time and I can.
And be it so, my good lord. Have a king.
Madam, sleep still.
Oh, you kind gods, cure this great breach in his abused nature, the untuned and drawing senses. Oh, wind up of this child changed one.
So please your majesty, that we may wake the king. He has slept long.
Be governed by your knowledge and proceed in his favor and love. Is he awake?
Aye, madam, in the heaviness of his sleep, we put fresh garments on him. Goodbye, good madam, when we do awaken, I doubt not upstairs.
Very well.
Please you, draw near. Louder the music, Dad.
Had you not been their father, these white flakes had challenged pity of them. Was this a face to be opposed against the warring winds, to stand against the deep dreadbolted thunder, and the most terrible and nimble strike of quick cross lightning? Mine enemy's dog, though he had bit me, should have stood that night against my fire. But wast thou fain, poor father, to hobble thee in swine and short and musty straw? Alack, alack, 'tis wonder that thy life and wits had not concluded all. He wakes me to him.
Madam, do you? 'Tis fittest.
How does my royal lord? How fares your majesty?
You do me wrong, take me out of the grave. Thou art a soul in bliss, but I am bound to a wheel of fire that
heal this pinprick. Would I were assured of my condition.
Oh, look upon me, sir, and hold your hands in benediction. No, sir, you must not kneel.
Oh, pray, do not mock me. I am a very foolish, fond old man. 80 and upward, not an hour more nor less. And to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you, and know this man. But I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant what place this is, and all the skill I have remembers not these garments. For I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me, for as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child, Cordelia.
And so I am.
I know you do not love me, for your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause. They have not.
No cause, no cause.
Am I your friend?
In your own kingdom, sir.
Do not abuse me.
Be comforted, old man. A great rage, you see, has killed him, and yet it is danger to make him even another time is lost. Desire him to go in, trouble him no more till further settling.
Will it please your highness walk?
You must bear with me. Pray not. Forget and forgive. I am old and foolish.
Our sister's man has certainly miscarried.
'Tis to be doubted, madam.
Now, sweet lord, you know the goodness I intend upon you. Tell me, but truly, but then speak the truth. Do you not love my sister?
In honor, love?
Never shall endure her. Dear my lord, be not familiar with her.
Fear me not. She and the Duke her husband.
Our very loving sister will be met. Sir, this I hear, the king is come to his daughter, with others whom the rigor of our court forced to cry out.
Why is this reasoned?
The binding up against the enemy, for these domestic and particular worlds are not the question here.
Let's then determine with ancient of war in our proceedings.
I shall attend you presently at your tent.
Sister, you'll go with us?
No.
'Tis most convenient. Pray, go with us.
Oh, I know the riddle. I will go.
If ever your grace have speech with man so poor, hear me but one word.
I'll overtake you. Speak.
Before you fight the battle, open this letter. If you have victory, let the trumpet sound for him that brought it. For wretched though I seem, I can produce a champion that will prove what is avouched here. If you miscarry, your business with the world hath so an end, and machination ceases. Fortune love you.
Stay till I've read the letter.
I was forbid it. Let but the herald cry, and I'll appear again.
Fare fairly well, all o'erlook thy paper.
The enemy's with you. Draw up your powers. Here is the guess of their true strength and forces by diligent discovery. But your haste is now urged on you.
We will greet the time.
To both. These sisters have I sworn my love, each jealous of the other, as the stung are of the hour. Which of them shall I take? Both? One or neither? Neither of them can be enjoyed if both remain alive. To take the widow exasperates, makes mad her sister Goneril, and hardly shall I carry out my side, her husband being alive. Now then, we'll use his countenance for the battle. which being done, let her, who would be rid of him, devise his speedy taking off. As for the mercy which he intends upon Lear and on Cordelia, the battle being done, and they within our power, shall never see his pardon. For my state stands on me to defend, not to debate.
Here, Father, take you the shadow of this tree for your good hopes. Pray that the right may thrive, and if I return again, I'll bring you comfort.
Please go with yourself.
Away, Father! Give me my hand! Away! King Lear hath lost and his daughter taken! Give me my hand! Come on!
Good guard, take them away, till their greater pleasures first be known that ours was sent assured.
We are not the first who with best meaning have incurred the worst. For the oppressed king, myself am cast down, myself without frown false fortunes found. Shall we not see these daughters and these sisters?
No, 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 come, let's away to prison. We two alone will sing like birds in a cage. And last my blessing, I'll kneel down and ask of thee forgiveness. So we'll live and pray and sing and tell tales and laugh at gilded butterflies.
Take them away.
He that parts us shall bring a brand from heaven and fire us heads like gold. Wipe thine eyes, the good years shall devour them, flesh and fell, there they shall make us weep. We'll see them starve first. Cow.
Come hither, Captain. Come. Take thou this note. Go follow them to prison. Thou dost, as this instructs thee. Thou shalt make thy way to noble fortunes. One step I have advanced thee. Know thou this, that men are as the time is. To be tender-minded does not become a sword. Thy great employment will not bear question. Either say thou do it, or thrive by other means. I'll do it, my lord.
Sir, you showed today your valiant strain, and fortune led you well. You have the captains and were the opposites of this day's strife. We do require them of you, so to use them as we shall find their merits and our safety may equally determine.
Sir, I thought fit to send the old and miserable king to some retention and appointed guard, whose age has charms in it, whose title more, to pluck the common bosom on his side, and turn our impressed glances in our eyes, which do command him. With him I sent the queen, my reason all the same, and they are ready tomorrow, or at further space, to appear where you shall hold your session.
Sir, by your patience, I hold you but a subject of this war, not as a brother.
That is good to grace him. Methinks our pleasure might have been demanded ere he spoke so far. He led our powers, bore the commission of my place and person, the which immediacy may well stand up and call itself your brother.
Not so hot in his own grease he doth exalt himself, more than in your edition.
In my rights, by me invested, he competes the best.
That were the most if he should husband you.
Jesters do oft prove prophets.
Hola, hola, I had told you so looks for the squint.
Lady, I am not proud, else I should answer from a full-flowing stomach. General, take thou my soldiers' prisoners' patrimony. Dispose of them, of me. The walls are thine. Witness the world that I crave thee here, my lord and master.
Mean you to enjoy him?
Let the drum strike, and prove my title thine.
Stay yet, dear reason. Edmund, I arrest thee on capital treason, and in thine attaint this guilt and sermon. For your claim, fair sister, I barred in the interest of my wife. 'Tis she is subcontracted to this lord, and I, her husband, contradict your bands. If you will marry, make your loves to me. My lady is bestowed.
An interlude.
Thou art armed, Gloucester, let the trumpet sound. If none appear can prove upon thy head thy heinous manifest and many treason, there is my pledge. I'll prove it on thy heart, ere I take bread. Thou art nothing less than I here proclaim.
Sick, oh sick.
If not, I'll ne'er trust medicine.
There's my exchange. What in the world? He is that name's betrayer. Villain-like, he lies. Call by that trumpet. He that dares approach on him, on you who not. I will maintain my truth and honor firmly.
My sickness grows upon me.
She is not well. Convey her to my tent. Come hither, Harold. Let the trumpet sound, and read out this.
Sound trumpet. If any man employed or degree within the list of this army shall maintain upon Edmund, or supposed Earl of Gloucester, that he is a manifold traitor, let him appear at the third sound of the trumpet. He is bold in his defense. Sound! Again! Again!
Ask him his purposes why he appears upon this call in the trumpet.
What are you? Your name? And why have I asked these present sons?
Know that my name is lost, by treason's tooth-bear non and canker bit. But I am noble as the adversary I come to cope.
Which is that adversary?
What's he that speaks for Edmund, Earl of Gloucester?
Himself. What sayst thou to him?
Draw thy sword, that if my speech offend noble heart, thy arm may do thee justice. Here is mine. Behold, it is the privilege of my honors, my oath, and my profession. I protest. Maugre thy strength, youth, place, and eminence, despite thy victor's sword and fire-new fortune, thy valor and thy heart. Thou art a traitor, false to thy gods, thy brother, and thy father. Conspire against this high, illustrious prince, and from the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust below thy foot, a most toad-spotted traitor. Say thou no, and this sword, this arm, and my best spirits upon thy heart will prove whereto I speak. Thou liest.
In wisdom, I should ask thy name. But since thy outside looks so fair and warlike, and that thy tongue so say breeding breeds, what safe and nicely I might well delay by rule of knighthood, I disdain and spurn. Back do I toss these treasons to thy head, and with the hell-hated lie overwhelm thy heart. For that which they at glance find scarcely bruise, this sword of mine shall give them instant way where they shall rest forever. Trumpets, speak!
monstrous. Oh, knowest thou this paper?
Ask me not what I know.
What you have charged me with, that have I done. More, much more, the time will bring it out. 'Tis past, so am I. But what art thou that hast this fortune on? If thou art noble, I do forgive thee.
I am no less in blood than thou art, Edmund. If more, the more thou hast wronged me. My name is Edgar, and thy father's son. The gods are just, and of our pleasant vices make instruments to plague us. The dark and vicious place where they begot cost him his eyes.
Methought thy very gait did prophesy of royal nobleness. That sorrow split my heart, if ever I did hate thee or thy father.
Worthy prince, I know it.
Where have you hid yourself? How have you known the miseries of your father?
By nursing of my lord. List a brief tale. The bloody proclamation to escape that followed me so near taught me to shift into a madman's rags, to assume a semblance that very dogs disdained. And in this habit met I my father with his bleeding rings, their precious stones new lost. Became his guide, led him, begged for him, saved him from despair. Never, O fault, revealed myself unto him, until some half hour passed when I was armed. Not sure, though hoping, of this good success. I asked his prayer, and from first to last told him of my pilgrimage. But his flawed heart, alack, too weak the conflict to support, twixt two extremes of passion, joy, and grief, burst smilingly.
Help! Help! Oh, help!
What kind of help?
Man,
What means thou with that bloody knife?
It is hot. It smokes. It came even from the heart. Oh, she's dead.
yes, speak, man.
Your lady, sir, your lady, and her sister by her is poisoned. She hath confessed it.
I was contracted to them both. All three now married in an instant.
Here comes Kent.
Produce their bodies, be they alive or dead. This judgment of the heavens that makes us tremble touches us not with pity. Oh, is this he? The time will not allow the compliment which very manners urges.
I am come to bid my king master our good night. Is he not here?
Great thing of us forgot. Speak, Edmund. Where's the king and where's Cordelia? Seest thou this object, Ed?
Alack, what thus? Yet, Edmund was beloved. The one, the other poisoned for my sake, after slew herself. I pant for life. Some good I intend to do despite mine own nature. Quickly send to the castle, for my writ is on the life of Lear and on Cordelia. Nay, send in time.
Run, oh run.
You have commission from thy wife and me to hang Cordelia in the prison, and to lay the blame upon her own despair that she forfeited herself.
The gods defend her.
Help!
might have seen him skip. I am old now, and these same crosses spoil me.
Who are you? My eyes are not of the best. I'll tell you straight.
If fortune bragged, two she loved and hated, one of them we behold.
This isn't no sight. Are you not Ken?
The same, your servant Ken, but where's your servant Caius?
He's a good fellow. I can tell you that. He'll strike, and quickly, too. He's dead in the mountain.
No, my lord, I am the very man.
I'll see that straight.
False, cheerless, dark, and deadly, your eldest daughters have foredone themselves and desperately are dead.
Aye, so I think.
He knows not what he says, and vain it is that we present us to him. And in this day, you lords and noble friends know our intent. What comfort to this great decay may come shall be applied. For us we will resign during the life of this old majesty, to him our absolute power. You to your rights.
And my poor fool is hanged. No, no life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life, and thou, no breath at all? I'll come no more. Never, 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 never.
For you, I do this button. Thank you, sir.
Do you see this? Look on her. Look. Her lips. Look there. Look. He faints! My lord! My lord!
Break heart, I prithee break.
Look up, my lord!
Vex not his ghost. Oh, let him pass. He hates him much that upon the rack of this tough world would stretch him out longer.
He has gone deep.
The wonder is he had lived so long that usurped his life.
Our present business is general woe. Friends of my soul, you twain rule in this realm, and the gourd state sustain.
I have a journey, sir, shortly to go. My master calls me, I must not say no.
The weight of this sad time, we must obey. Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say. The oldest have borne the most. We that are young shall never see so much, nor live so long.